Gordon, weren't we just talking about how a lot of us as men will leave the home and go to work and spend all this time at work because we don't want to be at home dealing with the mess? But then that just makes more of the mess, which makes us want to be away more. So we keep doing the same things with a different result. Like maybe one day she'll get it
Or
and she
does it
does.
work?
And then you end up, your relationship goes down the toilet, right? So you got to apply what you learned. If you know, okay, when it gets to this point and she starts raising her voice and I already set my boundary, I need to leave.
Yeah,
I need to walk away.
especially for like CEOs, managers, I've seen this a lot, even for some of the men we work with and stuff like that. This is why we promise building techniques. We promise effective communication skills, setting frameworks for you guys. We set up emotional intelligence training so that you can handle all these type of angles and stuff that goes on at home. What would be some of the clarifying questions you ask yourself when moving in this direction
Moving the direction
of the
what?
situation that you might be in coming home, that what is the right questions you might be asking yourself in case you might be in a situation where you don't want to be bombarded with all this nagging, the unpeacefulness, the raging. You try to paraphrase things in a situation where it can help. Does that technique help though?
Well, I mean, as far as like clarifying questions for yourself, right? It kind of goes back to reevaluating and thinking about how you responded. When you look at a situation and we're talking about like, being in a relationship, too far often we think about, okay, what the other person can do different. You'll spend the whole time talking about, let's say it is your turn to talk. And you're saying, well, you don't do this and you don't do that. And you're not intimate with me. You're not this. Here's the thing. You didn't say anything to her. You didn't say what you thought. You didn't say what you felt. You didn't say what you want. All you did was just come down on her. The same thing that she probably does to you. She coming down on you. So if you're talking about ask yourself questions, ask yourself the question like, okay, how can I get my point across better? How can I
Right.
make it so this conversation doesn't go wrong? What part am I playing in this situation? How can I start taking responsibility for the things I'm doing? Am I at work too late, too often? Am I not spending time with her? Right. So you should be evaluating, like, again, if she's saying some things, let's say, again, the conversation goes wrong, go back and ask, yes, you're thinking about yourself and what you can change, but is some of the things she's saying true? Because that's another big
Oh,
part of
that's
this. You might be trying to defend yourself, but if she's saying something that's true, like, no, we're not spending time together, then throwing something back at her, well, you don't cook. Okay, what does that have to do with spending time
yeah,
together?
that's nothing to do with
Right.
anything.
Like, imagine as far as like you being a CEO or business owner, someone comes to you and saying, hey, boss, man, we didn't get paid today. Oh,
Oh
well,
yeah.
you were late to work last week.